Hi, I'm Daniel Lucas, and welcome to Abstract Essay, where the essay thoughts find depth, and every conversation explores the art of thinking beyond the obvious. And today I have my special guest. One of her advocacy, clear the past, envisioning new future, live a fulfilled life now. No other than Dr. Foojan Zeine. Welcome, Dr. Foojan on Abstract Essay. And can you please introduce more about yourself?
Of course, Danielle. It is so nice to be here with you, with everyone who's going to be with us. I've been a psychotherapist and a coach for about 33 years now, and I've developed a psychological and an educational model called awareness integration theory, which can be used on a clinical level, or we could use it in schools, we could use it in companies. And we created an app, which is called Fujan app, which you can go through 31 areas of your life and really improve your life. And we have an AI chatbot, which is called Mira, within the app that you could actually ask questions and it will answer you, and it will give you skills. It will tell you, what to do, and so that you could actually create a better life for yourself.
And thank you so much for sharing your knowledge and wisdom to the world, Dr. Foojan. And today let's talk about happiness in life. So tell us, we often think of happiness as a fleeting emotion like joy or excitement. How would you define a deeper, more sustainable happiness that persists even on ordinary Tuesday?
Well, when we look at happiness, a lot of the research has shown just what you said. It's not just the joy, it's a lot of the meaning that we actually we put for ourselves, and the way that we have an outlook toward life. So, if the outlook that we have toward life is a positive outlook, that I can see my strength, I can see my vulnerabilities, I can see the skills that I have that moves forward. If I create a trust that I'm living in a world that I can trust people who are around me. So it's happiness is almost like a paradigm. It's a positive paradigm that not only sees the greatness in me, it also sees the greatness in others. While we face the reality and the challenges of life that has to be there for, and move forward. Many of the studies has shown that we thrive in good quality relationships. That's what we do. We thrive when we have a good relationship at work. We have a good intimate relationship. We have healthy relationship with our family members and our community. And part that also creates happiness for us. So when we learn the skills of emotional regulation, we can understand our own emotion, call it, release it, get the message of a lot of the emotions that we have. Plus, that have the skills of communication, relatedness, and we have the skills of conflict resolution. All of those will create a meaningful life and really a bond between us and people who are around us. That was really what creates the happiness. Another angle, just to share with you, Danielle, is that am when I accept myself with all of my quirks, with everything that is about me, and accept myself and see what type of thinking, feeling, behaving helps me, moves me forward, moves my life forward, creates better relationship, and I adopt those and I commit to those, versus really becoming aware of what kind of thought processes, beliefs, and emotions and behaviors just don't work for me. It won't work in my relationship. So every time I think this way, if it's a negative thinking, produces negative emotions, and then I behave in a way that upsets me and everybody else, obviously that doesn't work in my life. So, understanding awareness of these things and then seeing the impact of it and choosing thought processes and beliefs that are empowering, that moves me forward, that creates, bonding relationship with others. I can foster emotions you shared, like joy and calmness, gratitude, and I can foster those emotions. And then I can behave in a way that it's kind of a win-win. It works for me, it works for you, and pulls us all together in collaboration. That's what creates happiness, long lasting and sustainable happiness in our life.
Many people feel guilty about pursuing their own happiness, especially when the world is full of suffering. Is seeking a personal happiness a selfish act, or is a happy person actually a greater gift to others?
Absolutely. The second one you just said, the same
Hmm.
way that when we go into a plane and the plane, might be going through the disturbances, what do they say? If the oxygen mask comes down, first put it on yourself so you can breathe and then help others. So you've got to be able to hold yourself in a place that you're not constantly in drama and trauma, and have a sustainable concept where you could actually pay attention to others. So yes, it's great that you first have to take care of yourself, clear yourself, be in a space that you could actually be at a service to others. If you're miserable inside, if you're constantly creating drama and trauma for yourself in your life, you don't even have the bandwidth to help anybody else. You're going to be sucking energy from everybody else to be able to help you. You won't be able to be a giver at that time. So it's crucial for every one of us to feel that I'm responsible for me to first make myself happy, content, filled with gratitude. And then that opens my energy to be there for other people then.
Is happiness something we find through external circumstances, or is still skill we build through internal practices like muscle we can strengthen?
I would say both, Daniel, because I think that as we create external circumstances, then we pursue. Like for example, if I pursue a career that I love, if I pursue volunteer work which makes me, help others, and I feel satisfied, I feel amazing when I think that I'm being useful for someone. If I can create a better life for someone else, so these are a way that we create external circumstances that we find ourselves in them, which is defines us, creates purpose and meaning for us. And therefore those external circumstances comes back as a feedback loop and makes us happy. But I also need to be internally clear in a positive place where I can create these external circumstances that are positive. If I'm, again, constantly angry, in a negative mode, negative judgment, don't trust myself or others, I won't have the energy to create something positive outside. Whenever I'm going to go relate, I'm going to, I might sabotage my life. I might, you know, create a breakup in my relationships, conflict in my relationships. I might get myself fired from work, which will then, intensify issues with finances. So you could see where it's both, where I need to consistently work on myself internally to uphold myself in my strength, in my resiliency, in the skills that I have. And then with that, make decisions and create behaviors and relationships where on an external circumstances I can create those. But on the other side is, yeah, if I just say I'm going to sit here, be miserable, and I hold my breath until I turn blue, until I get the world to do it for me, or the world should just know what I want, that's a sense of entitlement. That's not a sense of happiness. And we're going to be very disappointed if we stay in a world of uh, entitlement, that the world owes us something or people owe us something. We're going to be miserable with that.
Dr. Fujan, in the age of social media, comparing our behind the scenes to everyone else highlight reel is a major there of joy. What is the most effective antidote to this toxic habit?
Well, the point of social media was at the beginning to connect in an authentic way with other people. That's how Facebook even started, where you could find friends that said, they wanted the same things and they had the same hobbies, and, you could relate. So, somewhere, if we went from an authentic self and sharing who we are in all of us to just, censoring and pretending that that's the only presentation that I have. That to me is more like just being authentic. But the other side of it is that being authentic does not mean that I have to take all my dirty laundry and also put it out there either. We see people just consistently having opinions about everything that they don't know anything about, but they just want to be a part of it and have an opinion. The point is to make sure, what am I using social media for? If I'm using social media to be with the group that I want to relate, then I want to relate from all sides of me. But from all sides of me does not again means that if I'm one day I'm upset, that I'm just going to call in, put in everything in my life in there because I want to share it with the world. So there's parts of us that we choose to share, and how we share and whom we share it with. There's a discretion in that. And I think that's important to assess for ourselves. Um, and therefore, be your authentic self, but then be wise enough to know what part of me will I share and not, and is it appropriate to share or not. Sometimes, when we're upset, we might share what our experience is, but I cannot go on and share everything about my upset when I coming back expect that everybody's going to come back and heal me. If I'm putting myself in that way out there with all of my upset, other people might bombard me with their upset, and I might not be able to heal. Or if I wanted to get validation, I might not be able to get validation. So I might choose to go to one friend and share my vulnerable side where they could heal me, where they could validate me, where they can nurture me. And that possibly is the place where I want to go. The other side of it is that if I'm trying to show, inspire others by the best of me, that's great too. But if the best of you is truly the best of you and you're not making it up, you're not faking it, you're not, a lot of people go in and that's not really their hobby, but they just, because of, creating pictures and videos, they create all of these fake concepts in order to show the world that I'm something that I'm not. So then they will find themselves in an imposter syndrome because, if you want to show yourself, people who want to know you, ultimately they'll be in your life and see if this is the truth or not. So you want to be authentic about who you are.
Authentic indeed. And Dr. Fujan, which one of your books talk about happiness?
Well, the Life Reset, the one that you just had, yes, that is for the public to be able to go through and learn the theory and really work on themselves. So it goes through exploring different angles of your life, from relationship to others, from relationship with your intimate relationship, with your relationship with your body. So it kind of allows you not only to read, but to work on yourself, to really look at who am I and how can I create the best of me. With this book, you kind of install like two cameras. One camera is looking at your thought process, emotional, and your body. Another camera is looking at your behavior and the impact that you actually create. And with this book, you can definitely start exploring the awareness and move forward. The book with intentional parenting with the red cover, that book is about parenting. So if you have children, or if you have um, this one, yes. If you have children, if you have grandchildren, if you're an educator, this will go through every single kind of age group, like your infancy, toddler, school, preschool. adolescent, and then teenagers, and then young adults who are still living at home. And it will show you from that perspective what are their developmental stages, what can you expect in that developmental stage, and then what are some of the issues that they might have in that stage of life, and then how can you, through this theory, support them and be able to kind of teach and learn and support and mentor your children as they're growing up. We also have Fujan app, which is an application where you could actually, um, download. You could do that from all the way from, you could go, if you're looking for the website on that is fujan.com. The one you've gone to is fujanzeine.com. So fujanzeine.com is about me.
Mm-hmm.
Fujan.com is about the app. You can go to Apple Store or Google Play and download the app. And the app has 31 areas of your life that you could go through. And it's like a wonderful self help. And what we've done is we've seen up to 75% improvement in people's lives when they've gone through the different areas of life and really reflected and gained skills through the Fujan app.
Interesting, Dr. Fujan. And why does giving away our time, attention, or resources so consistently create a greater sense of well being and happiness than spending them on ourselves?
Say that again.
Why does giving away our time, attention, or resources so consistently create a greater sense of well being and happiness?
Because we share ourselves. Because we are people, humans are social species, and we exist in our relationships. We don't exist like if I put you or me in a room with white walls with no one to connect to. We become psychotic. We could talk out loud with ourselves, or we find a relationship between us and the wall. Human beings, their identity is really a relational identity. We only exist in relationships. And that's why when we give of ourselves, we also receive who we are through those relationships. You can imagine, like, if somebody has a role of a mother or a father, a worker, a boss, an employee, a daughter or a son to their parent. Each one of these roles that we acquire through as we're growing up has its own level of identity, has its own level of responsibilities, and the way that we think and the way we feel, with things that we behave, the values that we create. So that's why allowing ourselves to share who we are, which is sharing our time, sharing our attention with other people, is we keep growing in this space. And the growth that we create for ourselves and inspiring others creates happiness.
What is the one truth about happiness you know now that you wish you could have told it yourself 20 years ago?
The one truth is accepting myself as who I am and not making myself wrong, not making my character wrong. I can always look at my behavior and say, this behavior did not work here, or this behavior can work here. But somewhere, if I knew that I am great as who I am and I can live my greatest, that would probably free many, 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 many years and hours of, I would say, unnecessary thought processes and unnecessary emotional outpour and outrage. And I just call it unnecessary. But in one way, I had to go through those in order to heal myself to get here. But if you say, if I knew this, or if it was one thing I could wish that I knew earlier, would be just accept myself as is.
Yes, definitely. And before we wrap up our discussion for today, Dr. Fujan, I'm inviting you to please do listen to my other podcast, people, because my abstract essay is already in fifth season, abstract poetry in second season, and my book 101 review in fifth season too, comedy 101 in second season, and my food 101 in fifth season as well, geography 101 in fourth season, and my baby podcast law 101, and mental health 101, love literacy in third season, and movie 101 review, music 101 in fourth season, and science 101 and sex 101 in its first season. Please listen to them wherever you listen your podcast. So, Dr. Fusion, in your experience, is happiness ultimately a destination we arrive at, or is it simply a quality of attention we bring to the journey itself?
Quality of attention we bring to the journey itself. Absolutely. You can always look at it as a destination also, but it's a destination that keeps moving. I think at one point, if we were born or we were raised in a way of had a tough childhood, let's say we were born and raised in an environment that was very much traumatic or stress related, we don't experience that happiness. So it could be a destination where first I want to get out of this and I want to heal and I want to get here, and then from there is a sustainable experience of an outlook to hold as I go through life.
Dr. Fujan, thank you so much for sharing your knowledge and wisdom to the world. So, can you please invite our listeners to support your books, your advocacy, your app, or whatever projects that you're doing right now?
Absolutely. The people can go to fujanzane.com, which you were showing them, fujan.com, and awarenessintegration.com.
Yes, people, let's support Dr. Fujan because if you support her for sure, more and more empowering books to come, more and more empowering advocacy, as well as more and more empowering happiness to come. So, Dr. Fujan, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Andy.
More to come, people. See you soon.